Arman was just a 14-year-old boy with a dream that seemed impossible to everyone around him. Living in a small, crowded neighborhood, he had very little money, worn-out shoes, and an old bicycle that barely worked. But what he lacked in resources, he more than made up for in determination. From an early age, Arman loved running. He would wake up before sunrise, when the world was still asleep, and sprint along the narrow streets, imagining himself in stadiums filled with cheering crowds. The wind in his hair and the sound of his own heartbeat gave him a sense of freedom he could not find anywhere else. Every day at school was a reminder of his reality. Other kids laughed at his torn clothes and scuffed shoes. "Why do you even try? You never make it," they would say. Their words stung, but instead of breaking him, they lit a small fire inside. Arman's mother worried constantly. She worked long hours cleaning houses and selling small items at the market to keep the family afloat. She loved Arman deeply and supported his dreams in the quietest ways, washing his running clothes herself and slipping him an extra piece of bread so he wouldn't be hungry before practice. But she also feared that the world would crush his hopes before they could grow. Arman's coach at school was another source of challenge. A man who had seen countless kids give up when faced with obstacles, he initially ignored Arman's attempts to impress him. "Talent isn't enough. You need money, equipment, and connections," the coach said bluntly one afternoon when Arman asked to join the training program. Those words could have ended Arman's journey, but instead, they became a challenge. He began practicing alone, running through muddy streets after school, using broken sticks as hurdles, and counting every stride to track progress. The conflict deepened when Arman faced his first real test. The school announced a regional competition, and Arman's heart leapt with hope. But the reality hit quickly. Other kids had proper shoes, uniforms, and proper training. Arman had nothing but determination and endless practice. Each day, his muscles ached, and every failure felt like a mountain pushing him down. Some evenings, he would sit on the roof of his small home, looking at the stars, and ask himself if it was all worth it. Doubts crept in, whispering that maybe he should give up and follow a safer path like his friends who were already planning jobs after school. Despite the challenges, small moments kept him going. A kind neighbor once gave him a pair of second-hand running shoes. A teacher praised his discipline quietly, saying, "Keep going, your heart is stronger than any obstacle." Emotional storytelling in these moments shows the audience the quiet courage that builds a hero, not through luck or easy victories, but through consistent effort and belief in oneself. The loneliness, struggle, and small acts of kindness around him trigger empathy and connection, making the viewers feel deeply invested in Arman's journey. By the end of this section, the audience clearly understands Arman's world, his obstacles, and the weight of his challenges. They feel his frustration, sadness, and longing, yet they also see a spark of hope. This sets the stage perfectly for the next section, where his transformation begins. The story encourages viewers to reflect. Even when everything seems against you, determination and persistence can start turning the impossible into something real. Months of hard work began to pay off for Arman. Every morning, he woke before sunrise, his body aching from the previous day's training, yet he ran with renewed determination. Each stride, each lap, each drop of sweat became a step toward his dream. His legs grew stronger, his breathing steadier, and his endurance improved remarkably. Even the coach who had once doubted him started noticing small changes, the way Arman never gave up, the way he pushed through pain, and the focus that seemed unbreakable. "I can see your heart in every step," the coach said one day quietly. These words felt like a reward, not just for talent, but for endless effort and belief. The regional school competition arrived, and Arman's nerves surged. Standing at the starting line, surrounded by students with expensive shoes and perfect training, he felt small, yet determined. Doubts whispered in his mind, "What if I stumble? What if I fail?" But he remembered all the mornings he ran alone in the rain, the hours he spent practicing without recognition, and the sacrifices his mother made for him. Each memory gave him courage, and he realized that victory wasn't just about winning, it was about proving to himself that he could endure. As the race began, Arman stumbled slightly at first. Some competitors pulled ahead immediately, but he didn't panic. He focused on his rhythm, the steady beat of his heart, and the energy in his legs. Step by step, he began catching up. Viewers feel the tension rise as his struggle becomes visible, his fatigue, his doubt, and yet his determination push him forward. When he finally overtakes one competitor after another, the audience experiences exhilaration, hope, and inspiration, seeing that persistence can bridge gaps even when odds are high. Crossing the finish line, Arman not only achieved a personal milestone but also earned the respect of his coach, peers, and family. His mother's eyes filled with tears of pride, the coach smiled broadly, and even former critics clapped for him. This moment delivers emotional release, showing the triumph that comes from relentless effort. The transformation is not just physical, but also emotional. Arman's journey inspires admiration and demonstrates the power of resilience. The moral lesson is simple yet profound: no matter how difficult life seems, never give up. Hard work, patience, and self-belief are more important than talent, wealth, or circumstance. Arman's story motivates viewers to face challenges with courage, to take small but consistent steps toward their goals, and to trust in their own potential. The story leaves a lasting emotional and motivational impact, reminding audiences that obstacles are temporary, and perseverance can turn dreams into reality. Finally, the narration ends with a reflective and hopeful tone, highlighting that every struggle, every small victory, and every moment of persistence matters. Viewers leave the story empowered, inspired, and ready to apply Arman's lesson in their own lives. When you refuse to quit, no challenge is too great, and even the impossible becomes achievable.